So, I have something to talk about with you, if you'll hear me out. So, we know Outcome Memories is canceled. Everyone knows this. They kicked the one guy who was interested in saving it and then canceled it, acting like it was all that guy's fault. Everyone knows this. If you didn't know this, there are plenty of good videos. That is not what I'm talking about today. Today, I am going to be talking about the other issue the game had. And that, drumroll please, is the balancing and bug issues. You see, even before the drama started, there were issues with the game. Small issues turning to big issues, but they were still issues. So, where to begin? Well, let's just start with the beginning. Outcome Memories 0.1 released. It Yeah, I didn't really start playing the game until late into 0.1's activity. However, I am aware of some things of the early days. In that, yeah, there was a lot. Fun fact, there was a Roaring Knight skin for Metal Sonic, and instead of refunding rings afterwards, they just got rid of the skin. Like, I don't even think it was because of copyright, because Toby is lenient with copyright. But, yeah. Back in the old days of Outcome Memories, there were issues regarding bugs. Everyone knows this who was around back then. There were bugs such as the EXE falling out of the map, the survivors getting stuck in places that they couldn't get out of. Heck, this even happened to the EXE sometimes. So, yeah. These issues existed. And that's not the part I want to talk about, because even then, the bugs were minor and barely happened. When it did happen, it kind of sucked, but they were kind of rare. However, they were never patched, at least in 0.1. I can tell you from experience, up until the day 0.2 came out, these bugs were in the game. The getting kicked into a wall by Cream trapped me as Tails once. Don't have the footage because I wasn't back into the recording side yet, but it happened. Trust me, bro. That's my source. Trust me, bro. Um, and the thing about that is, this was like close to 0.1's lifespan. Instead of that, instead of fixing the bugs that the community were desperately asking them to fix, or giving 2011X nerfs buffs that they were desperately asking for, you want to know what they did? Dev killers. Now, I don't really care about dev killers that much. Like, they're fun. They're a fun little thing. For some reason, Chara's just an actual killer. Maybe it was like a scrapped killer, like maybe it would have been like Dimensional Coral Lands originally. I don't really know. But yeah. Instead of fixing the bugs the game had, the dev killers were what was releasing between 0.1 and 0.2. And I'll be honest, not everyone was happy about that, including me. Of course, these issues were bearable in 0.1. However, then we reached the balancing issues. I already mentioned that 2011X was kind of sucked in 0.1 because of the maps being so small. The trickery move that brought you to someone else was kind of useless, besides if you get stuck out of the map. Um, People could just run around you. Eggman, Tails, and Knuckles each could just hide somewhere up high because not all the maps were play tested with like EXE in mind. At least that's what it felt like to multiple people. And people just generally wanted him to be buffed. And I'll admit, he's better in 0.2. He's actually the only fair killer, in my opinion, between the two others. And, yeah. Between him and the two others, he's definitely a fair and balanced killer. They did him justice. That's the only positive in 0.2, however. Starting with 0.2, we have issues. Let's begin with the obvious. Colossus and Tripwire were added. Tripwire is infamous for being awful. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have not gone against Tripwire that much compared to Colossus. I have gone against Tripwire, don't get me wrong. Have played once as Tripwire and Colossus and never again, don't know their movesets or anything. But I can tell you, it is absolutely sickening that this dude can fly everywhere. Now, this sounds good on paper, because this fixes the issue with the EXE not being able to reach certain people who camp in unreachable EXE spots. However, in practice, this also means literally everybody else is going to kind of have it rough too, because let's take a random map, for example. You Can't Run has this bridge that people usually gather up. Tripwire can access that bridge in seconds. Tripwire can access literally everywhere on the map easily. And probably before the survivors, too, in most cases. This was a real issue that Tripwire had, but that wasn't the only one. People were complaining about the bombs as well, and how fast you could plant them. Just a small little nitpick here. I just want to say, why do tripwires plant bombs on, like, dead people in, like, the game? Like, I get it because you don't want people to revive them, but they can literally just move. It's not that hard. If you're playing against a tripwire, you're not going to let them bomb your teammate. Anyway, Tripwire was such of a hassle, to the point where Tripwire became infamous for her moveset. You know who else became infamous for their moveset? Silver the Hedgehog. Moving right from a killer to a survivor, Silver had one major problem that caused him to kinda suck. And I mean suck as in he was too overpowered. You may be wondering, oh, why am I not talking about Colossus yet? I'm going to go in terms of overpowered, underpowered. So, Silver was not as broken as Tripwire. However, Silver can withstand 3 hits from Colossus's 50 damage attack. This is the first issue. Being able to survive the Brute's attacks more than other people because he had more HP. He still does, but yeah. That wasn't a major issue people had, but a major issue people did have was the ability for him to fly as well. Yeah, they just kind of got rid of Tails being unique in this game. Literally, all he has now is the laser cannon. Glide just kind of sucks compared to Tripwire and Silver just being able to fly. And, Silver's flight used to suck to play against. Hey, maybe that's why Tripwire exists, because, you know, the power creep. But, yeah, it was bad. Really bad. So bad to the point that his Recharge got nerfed into the ground. Now, I don't exactly remember how long it was, but I do know it was somewhere around the 2-minute mark. The 2-minute mark. They wanted him to suffer. You could use that 3 times per game at most. They did not like that move. Heck, even some people I played with to get the recordings for this video said that yeah, he was kind of overpowered originally. Of course, he's been nerfed since then, but not before. So, if you don't know this, there's 6 main maps in Outcome Memories. If you're new to the game, you would have only experienced 5 of them. The reason is, in the middle of 0.2's lifespan, one of the maps was removed from the game. Not because of some game-breaking bug or anything. No. It's because Silver the Hedgehog was so insufferable on that map that they literally removed it from the game. Instead of nerfing Silver by that point, they removed the map from the game. The map I'm talking about is not perfect, and while it was the worst map in 0.1, it was still fun. So, yeah. That is a map some players have never played. Let that sink in. If you've ever played on 0.1 or the beginning of 0.2 and someone else is not, you have played more of the game than them. And I don't mean like just playtime total. I mean like you've experienced more content. Another thing. Yeah. So we talked about Silver and Blaze. So, I mean, not Blaze. You know what? Fine, we'll talk about Blaze. Blaze is the only balanced character in this entire thing. And even then, she has issues, but they're minor. They're minor at best, so I'll just shut up about them. Blaze has this unique thing called a power bar, and the further it's filled up, the more fire you can spit at the EXE. Now, this would sound bad. However, it doesn't stun the EXE, it only pushes him back. This is why Blaze is fair. Sure, her ability lasts longer than a lot more people's, but it doesn't stun. It's just like the rabbit's kick. It doesn't stun, but it does help create distance. So, Blaze overall is a pretty good character with only minor flaws. But, yeah. Now let's talk about Colossus. I'm gonna be honest here and say I hated him since the beginning. People said he was like underpowered at the beginning, and I kind of get why, because at the beginning he didn't have that dumb climbing ability. So, remember what I said about Tripwire and the annoying fact that like multiple places in the map were just not safe anymore? That applies to Colossus too. People got annoyed of people using spots that Colossus can't get to, so they just gave him a ladder to place anywhere on the map. And it can go up infinitely. No, I'm serious. Like, see the animation, and I'm pretty sure, like, he's actually just climbing a truss. It's not even him doing it. He's just getting outside help. Like, yeah. Yeah. But, this change single-handedly ruined the character. Being able to go anywhere with a dash, a block, and being able to two-shot almost everyone besides Silver, Sonic, and Metal. And Sonic's barely an exception because the only reason he manages to survive more is because of dodge roll, in which, duh, and even then, Colossus takes out all of Sonic's dodge roll. All of it. And that charge? Oh, it can grab multiple people at a time. Yeah. Yeah, he's broken. He's bad. Of course, I didn't really go against Colossus before he was buffed. So I don't know how bad he was before then. I only played like one game with him as Eggman, who is notoriously not good with Colossus. So yeah. Either way, balancing in 0.2 really went off the rails. No longer it was just pick who you want to play, have fun. It was, do you want to utterly smoke your opponents, or do you want to have a fun game? I also find it hilarious that the one actually balanced correctly character is Sonic.exe himself, 2011X. And there was memes like, oh, who would use 2011X in 0.2? Yeah, apparently a lot of people who actually want the survivors to have a chance. Or want to have fun. But, let's see. Is that all balancing related? Let's see. That's the survivors that were added. That's the map. Oh, right. That's the maps. So, in 0.2, 3 more maps were added to the original 4. You may be asking, oh, but you said there were 6 maps before one was removed. Well, yeah, one of the new maps was a rework of an old map. And people instantly preferred the old version to the new version. So, you want to know what they did? They took the decently sized maps of 0.1 and made them way too big. Yeah. This is why on maps like Mystic Cave or Angel Island, you could see the EXE once or twice if you're unlucky. But on maps such as You Can't Run or Not Perfect, you actually had to deal with the dang EXE. I think this is why they were so powerful. However, you want to know who got a massive buff from these maps existing and wonking up all of the balance? Oh look, 2011X has a convenient teleport-shaped hole in the teleport-shaped slot. 2 of them. If you ignore the fact that invisibility is broken currently. Yeah. It's... Look, in my opinion, these maps are bad. Even the community agrees. The only one I think is actually good is Mystic Cave. But even then, it's not as good as the other maps. And as a reminder, they removed 2 of the original maps from the polling in favor of these maps. One by intention, one because a new character was broken. So, yeah. That's not very good, now is it? Suddenly, the maps that everyone absolutely hated were there. And, is that it? I could have sworn there was a... Oh, right, the glitches were still there. Yeah, they didn't really fix the getting stuck or EXE falling out of the map glitches fully. So, yeah. 2011X is also the only one with a teleport ability, so if you got stuck as anyone else, well, sorry for your loss. Like, jeez. This. And then we talk about the most tragic thing, and that's Angel Island. The the very first new map I played in the game. This was the first new map I played. And you want to know something? I absolutely despised it. Heck, it was literally not even finished until late into 0.2's lifespan. Because guess what? Multiple of the fires were walls that you couldn't pass through, and there was no indication of where you could go. Like, bruh, you had one job. Even for the killers, in which they are actively awful to deal with, even they struggle with these new map layouts. Of course, since then, Angel Island has been fixed, but Green Hill and Mystic Cave really don't have anything going for them. Not at all. There's also the fact that there's no longer any distinguishable areas in Mystic Cave and Green Hill especially. I have to say, Angel Island is a good map when there's no invisible walls. Because there's actually areas like the ruins, the Master Emerald Shrine, the little dip in the middle with the bridge, the other two bridges. But yeah, the maps in the update just kind of added a lot more feel to the fire. And yeah, my opinion, the downfall of this game happened way before all of this. Way before 0.2 got canceled. Before any of the drama. I think the downfall realistically started when they removed Not Perfect. I mean, think about it. Nothing positive since then has happened. The only thing I could think of is maybe that's when Colossus got his buff. But, like, he was overpowered after that anyway, so it doesn't really affect anything. Either way, there is just no. That is when the game died. Yeah. Here's the thing. I liked the game in 0.1. It was good. I liked playing the game, even when I died. Especially when I died. But 0.2 was such a mess when it released, and still is. The maps being the worst maps in the game for both the EXE and players. The EXEs being insanely overpowered to confiscate for that. And an original map removed just because one character didn't work on it. And it's just. Ugh. I would also like to mention that at the beginning of the lifespan, you want to know what characters weren't picked? The healers. Yeah, I feel like they were trying to account for healers this time as well, but barely anyone picked them at all. No one liked being the healers. But, yeah. I'll be honest, I wish this game got to do what it wanted to do. I wish every survivor, every killer got added. Why, if 0.2 was so bad, in my opinion? Because this was a passion project. People spent their time and effort into this game for no pay. Heck, they even lost money for this. They cared so deeply about their game. But they just didn't fix what was already there and kept looking to the future. The only good thing I could say is uh Fleetway's being pushed back because they realized the movesets were too similar. Like, I get it, we're not going to get Fleetway now. But at least they had enough decency to not have it be a Tripwire clone. But, yeah. But now that the game is canceled, what did I think about it in hindsight? Did it have potential, or was it doomed from the start? I think it had a lot of potential. Even if they added microtransactions later, like for rings or something, being able to pick your favorite Sonic character and just play as them is such a cool concept. Your favorite EXE and play as them. And like, it's good for short little when you don't have a lot of time to spend, like play around. And sure, that may be the same with all the other games like this. But like, this is the one I'm into. I don't play Forsaken, I don't play Die of Death. This is the only one I played. Because I'm interested in Sonic. Like, and it's not actively harder if you're the only one to survive. Besides for Sonic. But like, I just want to be able to enjoy myself in a game, you know? And this was a game that really clicked with me when I first discovered it. But now it's over. All because of some dumb drama. It's always with the dumb drama. Why can't passion projects actually just stay passion project for once? But yeah, why? Why can't it? I guess we'll never know. But hey, on that somber note, it's been me, Mr. Object Show, and thank you for listening to this little video about outcome memories.